Now, here he talks about a Stanford professor who back in the 70s predicted the end of the world by the year 2000. At the time, he was praised, he received awards for this. But even after he was proved wrong, he never changed his position because so much of his identity was built around this false theory.
Ehrlich is the poster child for an intellectual idiot. Here you have a guy, super educated, professor at Stanford, spends decades thinking about sustainability, and he comes up with a model. The model makes some catastrophic predictions. He is then rewarded for the model. He's told he's a genius, he's a visionary. Oh my God, he's saving the planet and humanity and the baby seals. Oh my God, the baby seals. He gets paid for this model. He wins awards for this model. He becomes world famous for this model. But reality eventually makes a fool of every model. And the intellectuals who cling to their models in the face of reality become idiots.
This is why there has been a historical disdain between the academics and the intellectuals and the successful entrepreneurs. Because people who are successful in business operate in reality. They navigate the world around them and become successful at doing so. And the intellectual resents them because in their mind, they're more sophisticated, they're more educated. So it's unfair to them that the person they consider less intelligent has reached higher levels of success. So from their leather chairs in their university offices, they try to create new realities in which they will be rewarded. And that same mindset is what has plagued the overeducated left. They were told smart people go to college, and so they went to college. Now they believe that they're one of the smart people. Yet they look around their lives and they can't find a job. They still live with their parents. They don't have any meaningful relationships. So it leads to a desperate sense of insecurity when they look around and see the person they consider an idiot to be doing much better than them objectively. For their own sanity and their own sense of worth, they have to hold on to the idea that at least they're more educated, at least they're smarter, and look at this college degree that they have to prove it. That's why it's so important for the left to let everybody know that they're educated and that we're not. That's how they cope with the fact Donald Trump won. They don't have to admit that they were wrong. They can just tell themselves, everybody else is so dumb, so stupid, they don't see what you see, they just don't get it. And I'm not saying that Republicans don't also go to college, but Republicans aren't the ones getting PhDs in gender theory and then bragging to everybody about how smart they are. And what's worse is the left ties their entire identity to their feeling of moral and intellectual superiority. It's important for them to believe that men can actually become women and that spreading this harmful ideology is actually a good thing because they're just allowing people to live their true authentic selves and be happier. And they have to believe that because if they looked at the reality of what they're actually supporting, it's chemical castration of minors, irreversible puberty blockers in children, cutting off healthy body parts and mutilating people, creating lifelong dependence of the pharmaceutical industry, creating unnatural hormonal imbalances, which can lead to more depression and internal angst. It's another example of a radical theory that completely disregards reality, and in doing so, the implementation of this theory actually causes more harm upon the people it's supposed to help. And the left can never acknowledge the harm. That's why they censor. That's why they silence. That's why they cancel. They can't allow discourse because just a few simple questions sends their entire worldview crumbling.